All right, so today we're going to be talking about Module 4, Week 4. Everything is a remix and Breaking Smart. The title for the whole week is Creativity and Thinking Forward. So, first thing I want to talk about is Everything is a Remix by Kirby Ferguson. So, his big deal is creativity and copying, how everything is a remix, from music to movies, technology, and everything in between. The basic principle is, there's nothing new under the sun. So most, if not virtually all, great works are just copies and remixes of stories and ideas that came before them. Copying is really the foreground of creativity. If great minds didn't copy, we wouldn't have many of the commodities we take for granted today. Easily accessible electricity, software, and technology, just to name a few. And that's not even diving into art and media. Our society has placed a heavy ethical weight on copying and intellectual property, something we should probably rework to make more effective and allow for greater advancements in all aspects of innovation and creativity. Time and time again, we see that most remembered and now vital to our way of life advancements were due to remixing or copying. He gives the example of arguably one of the greatest directors of our time, Quentin Tarantino, and his movie Kill Bill, which pulls directly from multiple other films. Same with George Lucas and Star Wars. And on the technology side, Apple's blatantly obvious and even boasted copying from other technology sources. I related a lot to a lot of what Kirby Ferguson had to say and his ideas and the things he had to back them up, especially when it came to the stigma of intellectual property and copying and how that stifled a lot of creativity in thinkers and artists and intellectuals. I think there's definitely an imbalance when it comes to creativity and copying and remixing. If you see someone who does it, they most likely do it excessively because you see it, and then there's people who just won't use this source, won't use remixing, and so they get stunted and almost have that existential crisis of like, uh, how am I going to add value whenever everything's already out there? And I related a lot to that, being an intellectual thinker and an artist myself. I think there's definitely that imbalance, and when it goes unchecked, it can breed a lot of anxiety and that existentialism for many intellectuals and artists. The next part that we went over is the Breaking Smart, which was an essay series, which was thrilling, about technology and software and how it's used in our lives. Breaking Smart is an essay series discussing technology, software, and different philosophies that have surrounded them in the past and now. So how different people react to changes in software, and as well as failure and success. So the big points that I want to talk about, and the way that he explained how people digest and work with and view software and its consumption and progress in the world. He talked about pastoralism and Prometheism, and then purists and pragmaticists. So Prometheans have an aggressive and tenacious nature, and pastoralists have a romanticized traditions and idealizations with symbols of an uncorrupted state of being. So you can see this a lot in like religions. If you think about Christianity, it's the Garden of Eden, for example. Uh, then you have pragmaticists who are unrestricted and have a bountiful mindset. They have, the mindset that there's plenty, and to mess up isn't a big deal. We can mess up and we can start over as many times as we need to get that perfect software that we're looking for, basically. And then you have the purists who are the complete opposite, and they're frugal and very careful, and we can't mess up, we can't mix and match. So he had a really great illustration here. Actually, the illustrations are done by, I believe, Grace Witherell. Witherell, that's how you say it. See if I can find it. I believe it's right here. Purists versus pragmaticists. Yes. So he had a great analogy between the use of china and mismatched Tupperware and other dishes. So the purist would be the one who uses the good china, um, reserved exclusively for narrow uses like formal dinners. Damage through carelessness, uh, careless use can drastically lower the value of a piece. So they have that very frugal mindset of we have to treat this as something precious. Whereas when it comes to the pragmatic approach, they view it like you would mix matched, cups from different restaurants that you get to take home, or Tupperware, things that can be easily replaced and mixed and matched, and it doesn't really matter so much that you stay with this one specific set. And so where he went with both of those um, analogies with the pastoralism and Prometheism and the purist versus pragmaticism um, was that the ones who are going to succeed and really take over and have and will continue to do so are the Prometheism and pragmatic thinkers and doers, while the pastoralism and purists will kind of be left behind because they're not willing to make those tenacious leaps forward. So that's really the big point that I want to talk about with Breaking Smart. There was a lot of content. It was really fun to read. Highly recommend. And the artwork was really cute. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for listening.